Good morning, students. So in previous class we have completed the portion on the parallel plate capacitor theoretical portion, and then we have derived some formulas for parallel plate capacitor. So some of the formulas which we derived in the previous class was, we have found out the capacitance of parallel plate capacitor, which is epsilon naught A by D when there is no medium present between the capacitor plates, and if there is a medium, the capacitance becomes epsilon R times epsilon naught A divided by D. Here this epsilon R is the relative permittivity of the medium. If this is not given, the permittivity of the medium will be given. So the formula will become epsilon m into A divided by T. So this is the formula for capacitance without the medium and with the medium. Next thing, we have found out the potential energy stored in the capacitor. Potential energy stored in the capacitor can be written as half CV square or Q square by 2C, or it can be written as Q into V divided by 2. So depending on what is given in the questions, you can use one of the formula. Then we have found the formula for energy density. Energy density formula we have found out, it was sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught, and we can rearrange this formula and we can write this thing as 1 upon 2 epsilon naught E square. Here E square is the electric field between the capacitor plates, which is sigma by epsilon naught. So this is the electric field between the capacitor plates. Next thing is, we have found out the force, or we can write pressure between the capacitor, pressure exerted by the on the plates is sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught, which is again called as electrostatic pressures. Formula for this one will also be again same, which is epsilon naught E square. So if the question is asking you what are the dimensions of 1 upon 2 epsilon naught E square, you can say the dimension of this quantity is equals to the dimension of pressure, and the dimension of pressure and dimension of energy density between the capacitor plate is also the same. Next thing, one more theoretical portion, which is the energy in the capacitor is stored in the form of electric field, because we know when we have two plates, the electric field will be from the positive plate to the negative plate, and this electric field contains the energy between the capacitor plates. So capacitor stores the energy in the form of electric field. So this is the formula for electrostatic pressure. Next thing, we have also derived the we have also seen what happens when you insert the dielectric medium between the capacitor plates when the capacitor is isolated, and what happens when the capacitor is connected to the battery. So if you insert a dielectric medium between the capacitor plates when it is isolated, we have seen that capacitance increases, charge remains same. So initial charge and final charge will remain same, potential electric field and potential energy will decrease. So capacitance will increase epsilon R times, and electric field potential electric field and potential energy will decrease epsilon R times. So this we have seen the final energy will become initial energy divided by epsilon R. So this is for a capacitor which is isolated. Now if the capacitor is already connected to the battery and you insert the dielectric slab, then we have seen that capacitance will increase, potential and electric field will remain same. So initial potential and final potential will be same, because here the capacitor is connected to the battery and battery maintains a potential difference. And electric field, because electric field can be written as V divided by D, so here electric field will also be remain same. Now capacitance, charge on the capacitor and potential energy of the capacitor increases when you are inserting a dielectric slab when the capacitor is connected to the battery. So here you have to remember these standard results. So now we are going to do the problem based on the circuit in the capacitor. So next heading will be circuit theory. Now here the circuit theory is exactly same what you have studied in the current electricity, only difference being the instead of resistance we are going to use the capacitor, and instead of finding the current through the resistance, here you have to find the charge on the capacitor. So here when you are talking about resistance, you talk about current in the resistance and what is the value of resistance and what is the potential difference across the resistance. So here in the circuit theory similar thing will be there. You have a capacitor, capacitance will be given, you have to find the charge on the capacitor plates, and then you have to find the potential difference between the capacitor plates. So here potential is the same thing. Here instead of resistance the capacitor will be given, and instead of finding the current you have to find the charge on the capacitor. Now depending on the situation we can divide them into three categories. We will do one by one. So first kind of problems are very simple problems in which you have a single battery and that battery is connected to the certain capacitor. So we are going to do this thing in question forms because the theoretical part we have already done. In current electricity some part is done, and then we have derived all the formulas which we require for capacitor. So now we are going to do all the concept in this one in question form. So the first question is, you have a capacitance, so you have a capacitor, capacitance of this one is C and there is a battery V. So initially this capacitor is not connected to the battery because the switch is open. Now the question is, when the switch is closed, this is the switch. Now initially this battery is V voltage, capacitance of this I am assuming C. Now when you close the switch, what will happen? The capacitor will get charged, so there will be charge appearing on the plates of the capacitor. So we have to find the final charge on the capacitor. Then second thing which we have to find is charge flown through the battery. Third thing we have to find is work done by the battery. Fourth, we have to find the initial potential energy of the capacitor, and fifth, we have to find initial and final energy of the battery, and last thing which we have to find is the what is the heat produced in the circuit. So in all of the problem I am going to calculate these 5 things. First we will find what is the charge on the capacitor. Next thing we are going to see how much charge is flowing through the battery. Then we are going to find out what is the work done by battery. Next thing we are going to find initial potential energy and final potential energy of the capacitor, and finally we are going to see how much heat is produced in the circuit. So first thing is charge on the capacitor. Now when the initially capacitor is not connected to the battery, initial charge on the capacitor is 0. So I can write Q initial is equals to 0. Now finally when the battery is connected to the capacitor, the circuit will look like this. You can assume here potential to be 0 and here the potential will be V. Now because this is connected to a connecting wire, here also the potential will be V and here potential will be 0. So now I can see that the potential across the capacitor is V. So the final charge on the capacitor can be written from this formula, Q is equals to CV. I can write C, capacitance of the capacitor is C and the potential across the capacitor is V. So the final charge on the capacitor is CV. Initially on this plate the charge was 0, on this plate also the charge was 0. Finally the charge on this plate will be minus CV and on this plate the charge will be plus CV. Remember, when I am talking about charge on the capacitor, I am not saying total charge on the capacitor, because total charge on the capacitor will be 0. Here charge is negative, here charge is positive, so total charge will be 0. When I am saying charge on the capacitor, I means what is the charge on the positive plate. So here the charge on the positive plate is CV, so on the charge on the negative plate will be minus CV. So this is the charge on the capacitor. Now we have to find the charge flown through the battery. Now initially here the charge was 0, finally here charge is CV. So this charge CV charge has moved from here through the battery till this point. So here I can say the charge flown through the battery is CV. Next thing is work done by the battery. Now work done by battery can be written as you already know, charge flown through the battery into the potential difference across the battery. So here the charge flown is C into V. So here the charge is going from 0 potential to V potential. So I can write charge flown, which is CV into the potential difference across the battery, which is again equals to V. So here the work done by battery will be CV square. So this is the work done by battery. Next thing, we have to find the potential energy, initial potential energy of the capacitor and final potential energy of the capacitor. So initially, as you can see, there was no potential as there is no charge on the capacitor. So you can write initial potential energy of the capacitor is 0 and final potential energy of the capacitor can be written as half into C into V square. Doesn't matter which formula you use, whether you use Q into V or you use whether you use QV divided by 2 or half CV square or Q square by 2C, you are going to get the same answer. So this is the initial energy and this is the final energy of the capacitor. Next thing we have to find is the heat produced in the circuit. Now we have seen this thing in previous class that whatever work is done by the battery, out of that work done, some of will go into the energy of the capacitor and remaining will go into the heat. So I can write work done by a battery is equals to change in the potential energy. So which is U final minus U initial of the capacitor plus heat. So battery will give certain energy to the capacitor and some energy will be produced as heat. So here work done by battery, from here we can write CV square. The final potential energy of the capacitor is half CV square and initial potential energy is 0 plus heat. So from here I can write heat produced will be equals to half CV square, which we have already seen in previous class that if you are charging a capacitor from 0 charge, the energy produced will be exactly equals to the what is the energy stored in the capacitor. Remember, this is only true when the initially capacitor is charged. So these are the 5 things which we are going to see again and again in the next problems also. So in the next question, you have a capacitor, capacitance of this one is C and initially this capacitor is charged by a potential of V. So here our capacitor is already charged to a potential of V. And so this is the initial situation. Now we are going to close the switch and we have to find all the 4 things which we have already done. First thing is charge on the capacitor, second is charge flown through the battery, third one would be the work done by the battery, fourth one is the initial potential energy and final potential energy, and final we have to find the heat produced in the circuit. So now we are going to tackle one by one. So first thing, initial charge. Initial charge on the capacitor I can write initially. So you remember this symbol for the capacitor, this one is positive plate and this one is the negative plate. So here potential difference across the capacitor initially is V. So I can write charge on this plate will be plus CV and charge on this plate will be minus CV. So I can write initial charge will be C into V. So here the charge is CV. Initial charge will be CV, here charge will be minus CV. Next thing is final charge. Now finally when I am connecting this capacitor to the battery, the final potential across this capacitor will become 2V and this term will be minus and this will remain positive. So here the final situation, this plate will be negative plate and this plate will be positive plate. So here now potential difference is 2V. So here now the charge will become 2C into V, because here now the potential is 2V, capacitance does not change when you are changing the potential. So here now the charge on this plate will be plus CV and plus 2 CV, and charge on this one will be minus 2 CV. So this is the initial charge and final charge on the capacitor. Next thing, we have to find the charge flown through the battery. Now as you can see here, initially the charge is minus CV, finally the charge is minus 2 CV. So from this plate, CV charge has flown through the battery and it has deposited here, because initially here charge is CV and here charge is 2 CV. So from this plate CV charge is leaving and on this plate CV charge is depositing. So here through the battery CV charge has flown. So charge flown through the battery will be C into V. Next thing, we can find out the work done by the battery. So work done by battery can be written as charge flown through the battery. So charge flown through the battery is C into V. So CV charge has flown through 0 potential to 2V potential. So here now I can write this thing as charge flown through the battery will be CV into 2V, which is equals to 2 CV square. So this is the work done by the battery. Next is initial potential energy and final potential energy of the capacitor. Now initial potential energy can be written as half CV square, because initially the potential difference across the capacitor is V and the capacitance is C. So initial potential energy will be half CV square, where V is the potential difference across the capacitor. Next is final potential energy. Final potential energy again can be written as 1 by 2 into C into potential across the capacitor. Now the potential across the capacitor, as you can see, this potential is 0, this one will be 2V. So here this potential will also be 2V and this potential will be 0. So here potential difference across the capacitor is 2V. So the final potential energy will be 2V square. So this is the initial potential energy, this will be the final potential energy on the capacitor. Last thing is heat produced. Now heat produced can be written as work done by battery. We can rearrange the formula which we have already seen. So this will be work done by battery plus initial potential energy minus final potential energy. We have seen this formula, I have just rearranged the formula. So work done by battery is 2 CV square plus initial energy is half CV square minus this term, I can write this will be 2 into 2 4 CV square. So this will be 4 divided by 2, which will be 2 CV square. So I can write this thing as 2 CV square. From here 2 CV square and 2 CV square will cancel out. Here the work done, heat produced will be half CV square. So here as you can see, the work done by battery is 2 CV square, energy stored is half CV square only. Here the amount of work done and heat produced by the capacitor are not half here, because the capacitor was already charged. So you have to remember the result. The result is the heat produced will be half of the work done by battery only when the capacitor is initially discharged. So this is the another problem where the capacitor is already charged and the negative terminal or negative plate of the capacitor is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Next problem is, we have a capacitor. So again we have a capacitor, capacitance of the capacitor is C, potential difference across the capacitor is already V, which is this plate is negative and this plate is positive. Now we are connecting this capacitor with a battery. Now here this variation is positive plate of the battery or positive terminal of the battery is connected to the negative plate and the positive plate of the capacitor is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. So here the answer will be different. So we are going to do, I am going to do only the first 3 parts, remaining 2 parts you have to do on your own. Now, so the first thing is we have to find the initial charge on the capacitor as well as the final charge on the capacitor. So the first is initial charge on the capacitor. Now as you can see, this plate is positively charged, this plate is negatively charged. So here potential difference, this will be positive, this will be negative, and potential difference is V. So here charge on this plate, initial charge on this plate will be plus CV, on this one it will be minus CV. So I can say initial charge on the capacitor is CV. Now finally when you close this switch, this potential you can assume 0. So this will also be 0. And here this potential will be 2V and this potential will also be 2V. So now the potential difference across the capacitor is, this potential you assume the negative terminal as 0 potential. So this will be 0, this will also be 0, and this will be 2V and this will also be 2V. So here again the potential difference across the capacitor is 2V, but now this plate will become negative plate and this plate will become positive plate. So now the charge on this plate will be minus 2 CV and charge on this plate will be plus 2 CV. Remember the plate will be, polarity of the plate of the capacitor will be decided by the terminal of the battery. Here the positive terminal of the battery is connected to this one. So this will finally will become positive plate and this will become negative plate. So now the final charge on the capacitor I can write 2 CV. So this is the final charge on the capacitor. Second thing which we have to find is the charge flown through the battery. Now charge flown through the battery can be found out by the what is the change in the charge on the capacitor. Now here initially charge was minus CV, finally here charge is plus 2 CV. So I can say 3 CV charge has come on to this plate, because initial charge is minus CV plus 3 CV will be 2 CV. So from the battery I can see that 3 CV charge has flown. So the charge flown through the battery will be 3C into V. So here as you can see plus 2 plus CV, from here if 3 CV is leaving, final charge will be minus 2 CV. So 3 CV has flown through the battery and it has deposited here. So the final charge will be plus 2 CV here. So the charge flown through the battery is 3 into CV. Next thing is work done by battery. Work done by battery, as you know, can be written as charge flown through the battery into the potential difference across the battery. Now charge flown from here I can write 3 into CV, and the charge is flowing from lower potential to higher potential, which is 2V. So here I can say work done by battery will be 3 CV times 2V, which is equals to 6 CV square. Now I am leaving remaining 2 problems where you have to find the initial potential energy and final potential energy on the capacitor, as well as heat produced in the circuit for your homework. So try those 2 problems. I will give you the answer in the next class. So with this, the problem which only consists of a capacitor and a battery are done. So there will be no more variation on the problem based on this thing. So next we are going to include multiple capacitors. So now we are going to consider some problems where there are only 2 capacitors in the circuit. So we are going to do this thing as well as a concept, this concept as a question. So you have a capacitor, capacitance of this one is CV and it is already charged to a potential of V1. Then there is another capacitor whose capacitance is C2 and the potential it is charged to is V2. So initially this switch is open, so you can see this plate will be positive plate and this plate will be negative plate. So here the charge will be plus C1 V1, here charge will be plus minus C1 V1. On this plate the charge can be written as plus C2 V2 and here the charge can be written as minus C2 V2. So I can say on this plate the initial charge will be C1 V1 and here charge will be minus C1 V1. Similarly here initial charge will be C2 V2 and final charge will be initial charge from this plate will be minus C2 V2. So here initially both of them are at different potential. Now if I connect the switch, if I close the switch, both of the capacitor will finally achieve a common potential. So I am going to assume this potential is 0 and I am going to assume potential here will be final. So initially the capacitor was charged to different potential V1 and V2, but you know that if you are connecting a circuit and two devices are connected like this, they will have a common potential. So we have to find the common potential here. Now as you can see, initially if I consider this part of the capacitor, in this part of the capacitor, this plate and this plate are connected to each other and they are not connected to anything else. So I can say these two plates I can consider them as isolated plates. So charge on the isolated plate will remain conserved. So here initial charge here is C1 V1 and here charge is C2 V2. So I can write initial charge on the plate is C1 V1 plus C2 V2. Now finally when both of them are at the common potential, final charge on this plate will be C2 into Vf and here also the final charge will be C into Vf. Because both of the capacitor are at the common potential, so charge on the capacitor can be written as C into V. So on this plate final charge is C1 into V final and on this plate the charge is C2 into V final. So I can write final charge is C1 V final plus C2 V final. From here I can write this thing as C1 plus C2 into V final. From here I can see that these two plates are isolated, they are connected to each other only. So here the charge cannot be created and charge cannot be destroyed. So initial charge and final charge of this two plate will be same. So I can write this charge is equals to this charge. From here I can write V final is equals to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. So this is the final potential of the final common potential of both the capacitor. So the final common potential across the capacitors will be C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. Now I can see initially the charge and potential energy in this capacitor will be half into C1 into V1 square and energy stored in this capacitor I can write half of C2 into V2 square. So this is the initial potential energy stored in the capacitor. So initial energy stored in the capacitor will be half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square. Now final potential energy, as you can see here the final potential across both the capacitor will become V final and here also the final potential will become V final. So energy stored across this capacitor will be half C1 into V final square plus half C2 into V final square. So this is the initial potential energy stored in both the capacitor and this is the final energy stored in both the capacitor. So if I ask you what is the energy difference here, energy difference or delta U can be written as U final minus U initial. Now you can place the value of V final from here to here and you can find this value. If you find this thing, you will find that this term will come out to be minus of half C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2 into V2 minus V1 whole square. So this energy is lost and this is called as energy loss. So here as the energy is negative, this energy will be lost. So here you can write energy loss or heat produced is half C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2 V2 minus V1 whole square. You have to memorize this formula also for energy loss when you are connecting two capacitor with each other. Remember here both the polarities of the capacitor are same. Here positive terminal is connected to the positive plate and here negative plate is connected to the negative plate. In that case, the final potential will be C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2, and the second formula which you have to memorize is energy loss. Energy loss is half C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2 into V2 minus V1 whole square. So this is the capacitor. Two capacitor connected to each other with their common plates. Negative is connected with negative, positive is connected with positive. Now next problem is we are going to connect two capacitor with opposite polarity. So here this plate is positive and this plate is negative and this capacitance is C1, potential difference is V1. Here we have another capacitor, capacitance is C2, potential is V2. So here this plate is negative plate and this plate is positive plate. Again here I can write initial charge on this plate will be C1 V1 and on this plate the charge will be minus C1 V1. Similarly here the charge will be minus V2 and here charge will be C2 V2. Because this plate is negative plate, so charge will be minus C2 V2 and this plate is positive plate, so charge will be C1 V1. So if I connect this switch, here this potential will develop 0 and they will develop a common potential which I am assuming V final. So if I consider again these two plates, the initial charge on these two plates I can write Q initial is C1 V1 minus C2 V2. Remember here the negative potential of C2 is connected to the positive of C1. So here the initial charge on both the plates combined will be C1 V1 minus C2 V2 because here charge is positive, here charge is negative. Similarly final charge I can write on this plate the final charge potential difference is V final, so final charge here will be C1 into V final. Now if this potential is more, this potential will also become positive plate. So here I can write final charge will be C2 into V final because both the plates are at the common potential. So here also the final potential will be Vf, so the charge will be C2 into Vf. So the final charge I can write C1 V final plus C2 V final. Again this, if this potential is more, I am assuming V1 potential is more. So if V1 potential is more, this plate will also become positive after you connect this switch. So here this will become positive, this will become negative because here the potential is common across both the capacitor. From here I can write charge conservation, I can write V final is equals to C1 V1 minus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. So as you can see the formula is similar to the previous formula. Instead of using plus you have to use minus at here. Similarly you can find the initial potential energy which will be half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square, and you can find the final potential energy which will be equals to 1 by 2 C1 V final square plus 1 by 2 C2 V final square, and you can find the energy loss. You will find energy loss will be half C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2 V1 plus V2 whole square. So in the previous formula and this formula the only difference is instead of using plus V2 you can replace plus V2 with minus V2, you will get both the formulas. So here energy loss when the capacitor are connected with opposite polarity is V finally C1 V1 minus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2, and the energy loss is half of C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2 into V1 plus V2 whole square. So you remember one of the formula, other formula can be derived using replacing one of the potential with minus sign. So this is the two problems which can be asked based on the connection of two capacitors only. Next thing which we are going to do is combination of capacitors. In previous chapter you have seen combination of resistance, you have seen parallel combination and series combination of resistance. Similarly, here two combination of capacitors are possible. One is series combination, second one is parallel combination. So we will do one by one. So first one is series combination. In series combination you have capacitors which are connected like this. I am assuming capacitance of this one is C1, C2 and C3. They are connected to a battery. What I want is, instead of using three different capacitor, I want to replace these three capacitor with single capacitor. Which will have the same capacitance as the combination of this one. So I am assuming this will be CS. Here S stand for series and potential is still same. So I want to replace these three capacitor. There can be multiple capacitor. I am just taking example of three capacitor. We can generalize this formula. So here I am assuming three capacitor. I want to replace these three capacitor with single capacitor. I am assuming the equivalent of this capacitance is CS. Now, when you are connecting it with the battery, connecting these three capacitor with the battery, you will see that the charge will flow from this plate to this plate. So here the charge will be minus Q and here the charge will be plus Q. Now because on this plate the charge is plus Q, on this plate there will be induced charge which will be minus Q. This minus Q charge has come from this plate, so here the charge will become plus Q and here the charge will become minus Q, and similarly here charge will be plus Q. So as you can see, when the capacitor are connected in series, charge on this charge on this capacitor is Q, charge on this capacitor is Q and charge on this capacitor is also Q. So when the capacitor are connected into the series, the charge on all the capacitor will be same. So the first result you can write is, in series combination of capacitor, charge is same on all the capacitor. So charge on this capacitor or this capacitor or this capacitor will be same. Similarly, if I see here also, here the charge Q will flow from here to here and it will deposit here. So here the charge will be minus Q and here charge will be plus Q. So in series combination, charge on C1 will be equals to charge on C2, which will be equals to charge on C3, and this will be equals to charge on the combination of it. So remember this result for series combination of capacitor. Charge on all the capacitor will be same as the charge on the equivalent capacitor. Next thing, I can write the potential across this capacitor as V1, potential across this one will be V2 and potential across this one will be V3. So here I can write total potential V will be equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now from the formula of capacitance, Q is equals to CV. From here V can be written as Q divided by C. So here I can write V1 is equals to Q divided by C1. Charge on this capacitor divided by the capacitance of this capacitor will give you the potential across the capacitor. Similarly, V2 can be written as Q divided by C2 and V3 can be written as Q divided by C3. Now I want to replace all these three capacitor with one single capacitor. So potential across this capacitor I can write V, because here the potential across this capacitor will be V, which is equals to Q divided by CS. So from here the value of V can be written as here, which will be Q divided by CS. So from here all this Q will cancel out and you will get C equivalent formula as one upon CS is equals to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3. So if the capacitor are connected to sorry, capacitor are connected in series, the equivalent of them can be find out using this formula, which is 1 upon Cs plus 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 and so on. If there are multiple capacitor, you can use this. Now, if there are only two capacitor, then equivalent can be written as C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. You can memorize this formula for two capacitor. Now remember, in series combination of capacitor, charge on all the capacitor is same, potential is different and equivalent capacitance can be found out using this formula. If there are only two capacitor, this will be the equivalent capacitance formula. Now the V1 can be written as Q divided by C1, V2 can be written as Q divided by C2 and V3 can be written as Q divided by C1. So here I can write V is directly proportional to 1 upon C. So in series combination, charge on all the capacitor is same, but potential is different and potential of the capacitor is directly proportional to the inverse of the capacitor. So more is the capacitor, less will be the potential across the capacitor in series combination. So this is the result which you can remember. Similarly, the potential energy stored in C1, I can write U1, which is equals to half of, sorry, I can write this thing as Q square divided by 2 C1, because charge on all the capacitor is same, I can use this formula. Potential energy in the second capacitor can be written as Q square divided by 2 C2. So here again you can see potential energy is also directly proportional to 1 upon C. So in series combination, charge on all the capacitor is same, potential across the capacitor is inversely proportional to the capacitor and energy is also inversely proportional to the capacitor. So more is the capacitance, less energy it will store if you are connecting them in the series. And the equivalent formula for capacitance will be 1 upon Cs is equals to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3. And you have seen these results in resistance also. So here you can say Cs, which will be the equal capacitance of all the capacitor will be less than C1 or C2 or C3 and so on. It will be less than C1 also, it will be less than C2 also, and it will be less than C3 and so on. So the equivalent capacitance in series is less than capacitance of the minimum capacitance. So here find out which is the minimum capacitance, the C equivalent will be less than that. So this is the series combination of capacitors. Next is parallel combination. Now in parallel combination of capacitor, the capacitor are connected parallel to each other. And they are connected to a battery. Capacitance of this one is C1, this one is C2 and this one is C3. A potential here, if it is V, I can assume here potential is 0, here potential will be V. So here similarly on all the points the potential will be 0 and potential here will be V. What I want is I want to replace all these three capacitor with one single capacitor. And I am calling this as Cp, where Cp is the capacitance in parallel, equivalent capacitor for parallel combination. Now again here potential difference will be 0 V. So now as you can see the potential across C1 is V, potential across C2 is V and potential across C3 is V and potential across equivalent is also V. So in parallel combination of capacitors, potential across all the capacitor and potential across the equivalent is also same. So you can write V across C1 is equals to V across C2, which is equals to V across C3 and it will be equals to V across Cp. So potential across all the capacitor in parallel is same. Now from this plate of the capacitor, Q1 charge will move, here Q2 charge will move and here Q3 charge will move. So here the charge will be minus Q1 here charge will be minus q2 and here charge will be minus q3, and all of those charge will combine and they will become q. So I can write q is equals to q1 plus q3, sorry, q is equals to q1 plus q2 plus q3, and this charge will be again deposited here, because here minus q1, so here charge will be plus q1, here charge will be plus q2, and here charge will be plus q3. So here on this capacitor charge is q1, here charge is q2, here charge is q3. Similarly here the total charge which is going to flow through the battery will be q, so here charge will become minus q and here charge will be plus q. So as you can see here, charge on the capacitor will be different. In parallel combination, potential across the capacitor is same but charge is different. So now we are going to find the equivalent formula for the capacitance. From here q1 can be written as C1 into V, because potential across this capacitor is V, charge on this capacitor is q1 and capacitance is C1, so charge is equals to C into V. Similarly q2 can be written as C2 into V and q3 can be written as C3 into V. From this I can write potential across this one is V, total charge on the capacitor is Q, so from here I can write Q is equals to Cp times V, because here combination, sorry, capacitance is Cp, charge is Q and potential difference across this one is V, so charge can be written as Cp into V. I can replace the value of Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q in this formula. So I am going to get is Cp into V is equals to C1 into V plus C2 into V plus C3 into V. From here V will cancel and Cp will be equals to C1 plus C2 plus C3. So this is the formula for parallel combination of capacitor. So in parallel combination of capacitor, you can simply add the capacitance of all the capacitor, you will get the equivalent capacitance. Similarly, charge on the capacitor Q1 can be written as Q1 is equals to C1V, Q2 is equals to C2V. So from here I can write charge is directly proportional to the capacitance of the capacitor in parallel. So when you are connecting the capacitor in parallel combination, potential across all the capacitor will be same, but charge on all the capacitor will be different, and the capacitor which have more capacitance will have more charge. Similarly, the energy of the capacitor can be written as U1 is equals to half of C1 into V square, U2 is equals to half of C2 into V square, and similarly U3 and combination of this one can also be written. So here as you can see, U is directly proportional to C. So here, so potential energy and charge in parallel combination is directly proportional to the capacitance. Similarly, here Cp, you can see Cp will be greater than C1, it will be greater than C2 and it will be greater than C3. So here Cp is greater than C1 or C2 or C3. So find the maximum capacitance of this, the equivalent capacitance will be more than the maximum of this. So if you want to increase the capacitance, connect the capacitor in the parallel, and if you want to decrease the capacitance of a circuit, connect the capacitors into the series. If you want to increase the stored energy, use the series parallel combination. So you have to remember the boxes and you have to remember these simple results, where the equivalent capacitance is more than the maximum or equivalent capacitance is the less than the minimum. In series combination, capacitance equivalent, which is Cs, will be less than the minimum capacitance, and in parallel combination the equivalent capacitor will be more than the maximum capacitance. So this is the series combination and parallel combination of the capacitor. So we have completed almost all the portion which we can, from which the question comes in the capacitor chapter. In next class what we are going to do is we are going to solve some circuit problem based on the combination of capacitor. We have already done the problems in the resistance, we are going to use the similar problem. Instead of resistance we are going to use the capacitor, and after that we are going to do a topic which is called charging and discharging of the capacitor. Now charging and discharging of the capacitor as such is not in your syllabus, but as the problem is given in the NCERT, we are going to see the detail of that problem. With that we are going to finish the capacitor. So today we are going to stop here, we will continue in the next class. Thank you.